Hello everyone, a pair of videos here to look at, both showing Ukraine destroying Russian SAM systems, which are always worth a quick look. So, the first video is playing now. This shows two elements of a Buk SAM system in the field, being observed by a Ukrainian spotter drone. I believe what we have here are the T-LAR vehicle of the Buk, which carries 4 missiles, and the TEL vehicle, which has 6. What's interesting about this video is that either the spotter drone or the incoming HIMARS rockets were detected by one of the Buks. We see a missile launch from one of the launchers moments before HIMARS slams into the position, scoring a direct hit on one of the launchers. A very accurate shot. This I think is the T-LAR launcher that gets hit here. It looks like the M30A1 tungsten round was used. Just before the HIMARS hits, the launcher that gets targeted is actually moving slightly, looking like it was attempting to drive away before the HIMARS arrived, but it was too late. In the aftermath, the drone focuses on the Buk that fired the missile, showing it to now be stationary. I think this too was disabled by the tungsten pellets, as otherwise I think it would be trying to get out of there, but we can't tell for certain. But one Buk launcher destroyed, one possibly disabled, but we can't tell. This was geolocated by EJ Shahid on Twitter to be here. The marker shows the one that took a HIMARS to the noggin. The second launcher was very close by. This doesn't tell us very much, but if we zoom out a little bit, you can see that this was actually in Kursk, located east of Rylsk. Let's check the range and the coverage of a Buk launcher from here and see what it can hit. The most commonly used missile by the Buk is a 9M38 M1 round, which has a 35km range, so that's the one I'm going to use. So, shown here, the rough coverage of a Buk SAM system from this position. You can see it covers a wide area in Kursk, the front lines around Koronivo and Lyubimovka, as well as the Glushkovo region. So, able to protect, or at least try to protect, these regions from drones and missiles. We haven't had any confirmation of Ukrainian aircraft operating directly over Russia yet, so these will be aiming at drones or missiles rather than aircraft. Now, interestingly in the video, we do see it attempting interception. Now, when I first saw it, I did assume that this was a failed interception of a HIMARS rocket or spotter drone, but we actually can't rule out 2 HIMARS being launched here, one hitting the Buk and the other one being intercepted. But I am going to rule that out, because the missile was launched in this direction shown here. No HIMARS rockets would have flew this route, as it would mean Ukraine positioning the launcher in captured territory in Russia itself, and we've had no confirmation of Ukraine doing that, and it would be very risky for Ukraine to do so. Most HIMARS launchers we see targeting Kursk are all coming from the region around Sumy, and it's this region where we have seen Russia destroy a couple of HIMARS and an M270. So, I think this Buk was attempting to intercept a spotter drone of some type. Now, I can't help but wonder if Ukraine has started using cheap drones as decoys here. Reason being, watch the attempted interception again. So, you can see that it's aimed at something other than the spotter drone recording. So either this missed by a great distance, there were 2 spotter drones in the air, or did Ukraine have a cheap drone in the air hovering around to draw the Buk's attention and attract the SAM fire, so that HIMARS and the spotter drone could remain undetected and unintercepted? Maybe even a drone rigged to have a larger than normal radar signature, so it would definitely be spotted. We can't say for sure, but I think it's definitely worth considering and would be pretty interesting if Ukraine is doing that. Now, let's take a look at the numbers before we move on to our next video. So we have 86 Buk launchers up on Oryx so far, and that's just visually confirmed losses. The true number is likely higher, as not every loss is videoed or photographed. A Buk is a multi-vehicle system. A Buk battalion features a command vehicle, a target acquisition radar vehicle, 6 T-LAR launchers and 3 TEL launchers. This Buk battalion is then split into 3 batteries. Each battery consisting of 2 T-LAR launchers carrying 4 missiles and 1 TEL vehicle with 6 missiles. So the key target of a Buk is the radar, as multiple vehicles and all the batteries of a battalion share one radar vehicle. Take out the radar and all of those batteries are offline. but it was the launcher destroyed here, not the radars. But as for the radars, Ukraine has destroyed 11, according to Oryx. Russia had 350 launchers in service at the start of the war, but the type is still under production, so more may have been built. But 86 launchers out of 350 originally in service is pretty good going for Ukraine. A significant chunk of Russia's active Buk fleet is destroyed. Let's take a look at our second video. This one's showing the destruction of a Tor M2 SAM system. This one you can see the Tor is in the field with its little radar on top spinning wildly when an FPV drone dives into it. The drone makes a direct hit. We see the drone causes the Tor to start smoking, but the Tor SAM system does actually survive the hit. We see it being tracked by the spotter drone as it drives off, belching smoke. So, this Tor wasn't destroyed, but was certainly damaged. But we can't tell how badly damaged. It is possible, of course, that the fire spread and then the Tor system burnt out further on out of view of a drone. But we can't confirm that. So we're going to class this one as damaged, not destroyed. I thought it's still worth a look, as an expensive SAM system here getting taken out by an FPV drone. And certainly, this is out of action until it can be repaired. Here's the geolocation. This one done by Mickey Ruiz de Valbuena on Twitter. The red marker shows where it was when it was hit. The red arrow shows that the Tor drove east after the strike when it was damaged. Zoomed out, you can see that this is north of Svatova. Now, I haven't actually looked at this region for quite a while now. This area is here, so it's on the Kupiansk axis. This map showing it today. Before we check the range of the Tor here, let's check the situation of this area. This is an area which, early this year, Russia has been pushing towards and have been doing so for most of the year. There was a big build-up at the start of the year, followed by a pretty big offensive, aiming towards Kupiansk. And it would be interesting to see what, if anything, they have gained in that time, as I haven't visited this area in a video for a while now. So here's the situation as it was at the start of the year. And here, Deep State's map from the 1st of June. So roughly half a year there, and there's very little to show for it, some very mild gains by Russia. However, that's where the good news for Ukraine ends. Here it is today. So Russia did manage to make a breakthrough back in July, expanding west from here, and clearly pushing towards that little river that you can see. This is actually a good move by Russia, as this is going to isolate the settlement of Borova from the north, and more importantly, I think, put pressure on both flanks of Ukraine's defences in that little pocket you can see. So, things aren't looking good for Ukraine here. Despite things being static on this front line in this axis, with little progress for most of the year, things have changed, and both Borova and Kupiansk are now in a tricky situation with this little breakthrough of Russia's. Hopefully, Ukraine can halt it. So now, let's check out the range of a Tor system. The Tor has a 15-kilometre range, so it is a short-range SAM system. You can see here that this Tor isn't covering the front lines as such, but rather protecting rear elements of Russia's from drones and potential missile strikes. This one, as is often the case in these types of videos, failed to even protect itself. However, to be fair, these little FPV drones are extremely difficult to detect and intercept. However, there was a spotter drone in the air at the time as it observed the Tor as it made its escape east after the initial strike, so it failed to detect that. But of course, we don't know which spotter drone was used here. Let's check the numbers before we finish. So, 60 Tors are up on Oryx so far, of all variants. 120 of these were in service at the start of the war. So, a significant chunk of Russia's Tor fleet is now destroyed. And remember, that's a pretty conservative number, as not every vehicle loss is going to be videoed or photographed, so the true number is likely higher. However, as with the Buk which we just looked at, it is reported that production has been restarted in order to replenish stocks. It's unknown, though, how many Russia actually makes each year. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. Now before we finish, I'm going to play a video message from Sanath about the ongoing fundraiser with him, which is progressing pretty well at the moment. This is an important fundraiser, so big thanks to everybody who's helped out so far. Thanks so much for watching, and take care, everybody.
Hello, Supermimers community. My name is Sanath. I'm a volunteer that's been helping the Ukrainian military for the past 2.5 years. I live in Ukraine and have been here for about 10 years. At the start of the war, my good friend Yuri, who was my gym instructor, went to join the military, and I stayed on to help support these guys. We've done lots of work along the way, so thank you for everyone who supported us. We currently have a fundraiser ongoing for an armoured vehicle. Cyclist for an armoured vehicle. It's going really well. We've raised nearly £10,000. We have got £15,000 to go. The vehicle has already been purchased and is now at the garage. It's having a BMW engine installed, and then it will be taken to Ukraine to have the ceramic and Kevlar armaments installed. So with your continued support, we'll be able to bring this project to a successful conclusion. Thank you very much.